Perhaps what's most vivid for me from taking care of Becky was when she really started taking ownership of her recovery. I distinctly remember her coming into the office one day with a calendar. She had put stickers on the days she had actually stepped out of her comfort zone, and she was very excited to come to appointments and show me how many stickers she had put on since her last visit. I really noticed a shift in her at that point, and I can honestly say that's the change I noticed, and she really was moving in a different realm for recovery at that point.
Hi, I'm Becky, and I'm going to be a senior at Roslyn High School. I'm very excited. But okay, I want to take you through my journey with my eating disorder and recovery. It's hard to say when an eating disorder starts. You know, like you can be diagnosed, but really, for most people at least, and for me, it starts way before then. And I'm going to take you back to about 7th grade. And I come from a primarily Jewish, a very homogeneous Jewish town where I'd have up to 4, maybe 5 bar and bat mitzvahs in a single weekend. And yeah, it was pretty intense. And we shared this like, gotta get thin, gotta lose weight type of attitude. And you had some girls who didn't take it that seriously. You know, like they'd still eat like normal teenagers, which is great. It's totally normal. And I guess that's when I started taking things a little too far. You know, it starts with a diet and it just grows from there. At the same time, I was also a very intense dancer. I danced 7 days a week, and that too puts a lot of pressure on your body and how thin you are. And at first, you know, people don't notice too much. It's just, oh, you look good, you're eating healthy, and it's positive, normal compliments. But slowly, as things start to get worse and people start to take notice, then things start spiraling out of control. And my parents took me to the doctor right before 9th grade started, like literally the day before. So, I mean, I was mad about that in general. Like, it was my last day of summer, and then you're taking me to the doctor. You think I have an eating disorder? What? And see, I always tell people when I speak, or I used to tell people, that it wasn't that I was in denial. I just didn't really know what an eating disorder was. Because for me, and I suffered from anorexia, so for me, people with anorexia don't eat. And I ate enough, or so I thought. And it's not that they don't eat, it's just that they don't eat nearly enough to sustain their bodies and what they need. So that's what I've been telling people this whole year when we've been talking at high schools. But it's interesting because before the summer, I was reading one of my old diaries that I had kept from around that period. And that summer, I remember I was reading an entry. This was like this past June. I was reading an entry from the summer, though, before 9th grade, the summer before the doctor. And I definitely knew what an eating disorder was. I literally wrote out, I'm suffering from an eating disorder, and I love it. I love the attention. I love the compliments. And I think, looking back on it, I think I had really just put that into my unconsciousness and just pushed it out because I didn't want to think that I knew that I was dealing with this and just didn't care. But I definitely knew, and I know now, and now I can tell you for a fact that I was in denial. But anyway, jumping back, I went to the doctor in 9th grade, and they said, you have an eating disorder. You're suffering from anorexia. And that kind of made it official, and even though I still didn't think I did, my parents, it was confirmed for them, my friends, and they said, you know, we're going to give you this meal plan, and you have 2 weeks to follow it, gain some weight. We'll see what we can do from there. 2 weeks later, I go back to the doctor, and they say, I'm going to admit you to the hospital. And for me, that was a huge wake-up call. It was like, what? No, like, funny joke. Because I was still in such big denial. And I went into the hospital kicking and screaming, and I mean that literally. I remember I was there at the clinic at 3 o'clock. I didn't get to my hospital room until 8, and that had nothing to do with, like, insurance papers and all that stuff. That was just, I mean, literally, I was on my way to the hospital, and then I just turned the other way and ran. I literally ran away down the street. And it wasn't until they said, we're going to get an ambulance and take you to the psych hospital next door if you don't go with us right now, that I was like, all right, maybe an eating disorder is better than a psych unit. And basically, I was inpatient for about a week, and I guess you can say I can be a very persuasive, manipulative person, and I made some nice deals with my doctor. You know, I eat this, you let me out of the hospital, and it worked for me, or so I thought. I was out of the inpatient, but I continued doing a day program for about 2 months, during which I wouldn't say I really worked so hard on recovery, but at the same time, I wasn't like totally faking it either. It was somewhere in between. You know, there were good days, there were bad days. And I think what really helped me the most, though, was a lot of the friendships I made there, and there was a lot of support. And that was totally by chance. You know, like you have some groups where people don't really care. The patients are just totally faking the program. And I think I was there, though, at a good time, both for me and the people. It was a really tight group, and we all wanted, at least to some degree, to get better. And that, I think, is the key that really helped me, seeing other people want to get better and other people trying hard. And I wouldn't say, I definitely wasn't better after those 2 months in the day program, but I was moving along. I had gained some weight, improved a little bit better mentally, and it was decent. You know, it was okay. And I went back to school, and you get those comments, oh my God, you look so great, or wow, like you gained a lot of weight. And people say that flat out, you know, like they don't really think about it. And those comments, to me, at least, were translated to like, wow, you're fat. And that just shows the mentality, you know, like people are saying, you look so healthy, you look great. And that's translated. It's like as if you're speaking different languages, like you're fat, you know? Looking back, it makes no sense, but it just like, it made so much sense to me at the time, and I couldn't understand it. Like, why were people saying this to me?